Hello, Pisces. Ooh. Welcome and welcome back. Oh, I know that probably changed the way. Welcome and welcome back, you guys. What's up? We're going to get into another reading. And in this reading, oh, my face is already itching. Oh, my God. In this reading, we're going to see what you need. What's blocking you from getting what you need. And how you remove that blockage or ultimately get what you need, okay? Because I know there's a lot of things that we need these days that a lot of us feel like we don't have, okay? And sometimes it's confusing trying to figure out how to get it. And it makes it difficult to progress forward without kind of having enough information to be put on the right track. So I wanted to go ahead and pull that energy. Just so you know, it was pouring down rain literally 5 minutes ago, if not less. And all of a sudden when I turned on the camera, like right before I hit play, the sun came out. So I'm hearing that song, The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. And I'm filming this on May 30th, Friday, May 30th. So this could be a sign or a synchronicity that the day after you watch this reading, the sun will come out. This could literally be with the weather. But that's what I was hearing. So we're going to get into it, you guys. I also wanted to say thank you to all of you for holding space for me the other day. I was definitely feeling that Gemini new moon, and it hit your girl hard, okay? It hit me like a Mack truck. So thank you, guys, all of you who are very supportive of my bouts. Sometimes it is spouts. For my random rants or my random seemingly irrational thoughts. I really appreciate you guys who hold space for me to just express myself. And for those of you who understand that the reason why I express myself is ultimately to benefit you guys, right? And it's not anything crazy. It's just that I don't want to lie to you guys. Like for any reason. I don't want to lie to you guys. And I don't want to come off as fake or phony because you guys are intuitive. I'm not going to even play in your face like that. Y'all understand and know when I'm not necessarily like feeling it 100%. So as to not insult you, sometimes I let it rip. And also, I appreciate you guys who understand that because I am channeling, that sometimes the energy of what I'm talking about in the reading comes through. And I will definitely refer you back to that reading where I did Child's Play. That Child's Play reading. And everything that happened during that reading. A lot of times, I'm not just talking about myself. Which, I mean, I am talking about myself. But in me talking about myself, sometimes it plays out or represents what will play out in different situations that you guys might be experiencing. And that might be energy that you have to deal with or address either within yourself or within situations going on around you. So I'm not excusing any of my behavior because sometimes my behavior is a little rash, but I am wanting to bring light to those other aspects so that hopefully you guys can understand me a little bit better. Because I know a lot of you guys are new. And you just come, it's like when you come over to somebody's house for the first time. Y'all remember when y'all was kids and your friend used to be like, oh, you want to come to my house? And you be like, yeah, you ask your mom or your dad, can you go over to their house? And you ain't never been there before. And then you get there and it's a whole culture shock because they do things completely different from what goes on at your house. And it can either be positive or negative. That's how some of y'all new folks felt. They're like, damn, this bitch, what is going on with this bitch? I know y'all was thinking that. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for holding space for me, even in the comments. And I want to get back to what's important, because y'all, definitely, it's been a lot of things going on in my life, child. I'll give y'all one example. A lot of you guys know, especially if you're members, I've moved recently again. And when I moved a year ago around this time, close to this time, you guys really helped me out a lot. And I didn't want to ask for your help again, because I felt like that would be asking for too much. Ego getting too big. You get what I'm saying? I felt like it was my responsibility to make this move on my own and figure it out on my own. And that's what I did. And I didn't even, like, usually I ask my ex-husband to help because I feel like he's obligated to help me because of everything that we've been through. But I didn't even ask him for help. Truth be told, he's not obligated to do anything. But I didn't even ask him for help. I asked no one for help. Me and the kids packed up everything literally in like a week. It's less than 7 days, and moved. Because it was crazy situations going on. People was trying to throw me under the bus. People was talking about me unbeknownst to me, and I found out about it. And instead of reacting and doing something that is a part of my past or a part of my lower vibrational self, my shadow self, I decided to try to transmute that energy. And I filmed a lot of content for it. So that's why I'm so passionate about you guys checking out my other channel, Casey Nicole Speaks. It's in the LINKTREE. Everything when it comes to booking a reading, all of my channels, my social medias, it's all in the LINKTREE. And that's another cost that goes into having this business, because I pay for it to be nice looking and easy to access for all of you guys, depending on your situation. So if ever you want to know what's going on with me and get the real tea, that's the channel that you need to watch, Casey Nicole Speaks. And in the LINKTREE, you will have to scroll down a little bit to see it. And once you get over there, I have a separate LINKTREE to other social media platforms. But I will tell you guys everything that happened. And just so you guys know, in the process of me having to move within those 4 days, once I did finally move, my son, my elementary school son, who just turned 8 years old earlier this year, was missing from school. I felt in my spirit. I felt in my spirit that they put him on the bus. And since I moved, nobody was there. But my ex-husband was up there to pick him up. And I was driving on the highway too far away to pick him up, because that's why my ex-husband was there. You get what I'm saying? So I'm on the phone with him. He's in the line for school. The buses are about to arrive at the old neighborhood where nobody is at. And now, since they finally wanted to get their shit together, the gate is closed, right? And nobody knows where my child is at. For like 30 minutes. I told him while he was in line, figure out where my child is at, because he kept saying his name. He kept saying my son's name over and over. And I'm like, where is my child? Because I already knew at that point. I felt it in my soul because it was crazy. I actually told him, I was like, oh yeah, you remember that story that came out a few years ago where that kid went missing and the school didn't know who had him and some random person picked him up? I literally said this to him as he was on the way to go pick up my son, because this was the first day that he was supposed to get picked up and not be on the bus. And my spirit was like, they gonna fuck something up. You know, like, and I'm not saying that I was upset with the teacher, but I knew they was gonna fuck something up. So basically, we find out he's not at the school. They put him on a bus. I was screaming my soul out, telling him to go get him, because they was just pussyfooting around. I told him, I said, you need to leave right now and go get him. So he was standing outside off of a main street, like a 2-lane road on both sides. So it's 4 lanes of traffic plus a middle turning lane. He was standing outside on the corner where the bus dropped the kids off by himself, and scared shitless, about to cry when I talked to him on the phone. So that happened. And there was just a lot of other things that were going on, either personally through my family. And y'all know, some of you, that recently my aunt passed away, and one of my uncles had a really tough experience. And for the last few weeks, really the last few weeks, things have been really hard for me. Things have been weighing down on me, and I've been trying to make some really tough decisions with a calm, cool, collected head, while also, follow my intuition, being logical, balancing everything, trying to stay sane, and also pushing out content. So I took a break for that time when I was moving, because I just had to unpack like my stuff and set everything up, find everything. And I feel like throughout that process, I was still working really hard to try to stay consistent, and all of the other things on the back end with the old place that y'all don't know what's going on. So I don't want to excuse or lack accountability for my actions at times, but I just want you guys to know, like, the reason why I'm transparent with you is because we all have to deal with these types of things. We all have life happening 24/7. So at times, I also fall victim to the temptation to kind of like take that out on the people around me. Not necessarily because I want to, but just because the pressure is very intense in a lot of situations. And there's other things going on that I'm not even mentioning, you guys. So I just want to let you guys know that I understand and am very aware that sometimes when I go off about certain things, it pisses people off. It rubs you guys the wrong way. I am fully aware of that. And if that's the case, I don't want to make any of you guys feel like you have to be obligated to be here. You don't have to be here. And I'm not saying it in a condescending way. I'm literally saying, like, if whatever I do is detrimental to your overall health and well-being, whether it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, you don't have to feel like you have to be here. And I will not be offended if you have to go. However, I would ask for those of you who do have a difference of opinion when it comes to my approach, try as best you can to understand the aspects of channeling, to understand the aspects of what goes on when it comes to content creation and social media, and try to understand the aspects of being the person who's in my position versus being the people who are watching, because hindsight is always 20/20. And even in situations like with what's going on in media right now, when you talk about, the president or other countries having upheaval and, the celebrity news of the world, everybody always finds it easy to say what they would do when they're in that situation. But when you're actually in that situation, it's a lot more difficult to navigate your emotions, your thoughts, and your courage, or your humility. And that's all I would ask for you guys to do. So I know I was on the pedestal, on my podium. I was on the podium for 15 minutes, bitch. And it ain't been no cards read. I understand. But I had to say that because I care about you guys. And I honestly, genuinely, want for my channels and my content to be a place of authenticity. And that means, everything. We got to put everything out on the table. And that's the only way that we'll be able to grow. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all of you guys who have been contributing to the channel, donating to the channel. Thank you specifically for those of you guys who sent some little gifts for the boys or well wishes for their birthdays. And thank you guys for those of you who sent donations for supplies, guys, because I got some new sage. Shout out to y'all. I have these 2 out, but then I have 2 more that I got. And I also got 4 pieces of Palo Santo. So thank you very, very much for that. Shout out to all my members. We had our first weekly reading in several months, and the energy looks really positive. It's definitely a turning point, you guys, when it comes to the ways that you look at people, places, things, situations, yourself, the beliefs that you have surrounding certain things. And I feel like there's a breakthrough when it comes to the way that we carry certain habits through the influence of our beliefs. Okay. All right. So we're going to see for Pisces, guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest vibration, Father, Mother, God, for Pisces, when it comes to what they need. What does Pisces need at this time, Spirit, when it comes to their situations, their life, their connections? What does Pisces need? Big heart. They truly mean well. It's just not meant to be. The love you had is real. Wow, relaxing. Some of y'all need a break. Some of you guys need a break. And when I say you need a break, I feel like some of you guys need people around you and environments that understand you. That's what I feel like you need. I feel like a lot of people misinterpret your passion. And it's kind of synchronistic to what I was saying, because it's like you go into situations where your heart is big and you mean well, which means your intentions are in the right place, but it's not meant to be because there's something about a clash that takes place between your intentions and the results of what happens. And that could either be because of what you choose to do to achieve your intentions, or it could be how you are perceived by others while executing your intentions. Right? And I feel like there's definitely a lot of situations where people may misunderstand you because they're not aware of your intentions, or they can't really understand your perspective. And I feel like what you need is to be able to relax in those situations and not have to be so worried about how people are going to take everything that you say and do. And I think a lot of times that comes from, like, of course, our childhood and what we've experienced, but also as we grow through life, being true and authentic and receiving backlash and seeing how much people complain about a lack of authenticity, but either shun away authentic people or criticize and chastise authentic people. It's the double standard that I feel like you guys need a break from. And in order to have that, it's like you need to be around people who truly understand you and people who you don't have to kind of explain yourself to. Now, don't get me wrong, because I don't feel like I was explaining shit to none of y'all. Because it definitely is some people who because I stand on what I said. Because there's definitely some people who I firmly feel, absorb the content here, but they don't give anything back. And that's fucked up. And just because, that's what happens doesn't mean that's right. But at the same time, it's like there's a balance that has to take place. So just know I'm not talking about myself. I just feel like in general, people are sometimes hypocritical when it comes to certain things and certain situations. And it's like everything is looked at through a subjective viewpoint or a biased viewpoint based on everyone's tendencies, their experiences, their trauma, and their expectations. And I just feel like you need to be around people who understand you. Yeah, innocent, not guilty as charged, tries to do the right thing, hostility holds you hostage. Yeah, because either you're receiving hostility from people who either don't understand you or don't want to understand you, or you're feeling hostile because that's always what you receive. And then it's like a cycle that keeps repeating. And then you have direction. Unsure of what to do next, take steps in any direction. Don't back down. Yeah, I really feel like you guys need to continue pushing forward towards what you want out of life. It definitely feels like a situation where what you need is for people to try harder to understand you. And that's not, I'm not, listen, I don't know if that's what you're going to get. People who are willing to try harder to understand you. However, I don't want to be negative either. I feel like what you need is to continue to push forward, following your North Star with this direction card, following your internal compass, following your intuitive guidance, following your ancestral support system, your spirit team. That's what you need to keep doing. That's what you need to find people in situations who are down to clown, basically down with the cause, who aren't going to judge you for every single little thing that you do. And I feel like there's a need for you to be around those people who actually support you, but there's also a need for you to remove yourself or remove people who are either misunderstanding you out of laziness or misunderstanding you out of spite. Being hostile or addressing those things is not going to help you. Because folks who want to misunderstand you are going to misunderstand you anyway. And this is something that I'm continuing to have to learn my whole life. And I'm not upset about it. It's okay. Wow, cuffing season in reverse. Yeah, so there could be a separation. October to February. February to October. Maybe the summertime. What does Pisces need? Codependency. My finger. I think I jammed my finger. It hurts. I've been busting my ass skating, y'all. My ass is going to look so fat. My booty is going to be so juicy. Because that skating shit got my whole body sore, bitch. I didn't even work out with my arms. My arms are sore. Codependency. Childish. Someone is being very childish. Evil eye. What the heck is this? I feel like these are the people who are purposefully misunderstanding you. Somebody who is childish, someone who's wishing ill intent on you, and someone who's codependent on you. They're childish, they're codependent, and they don't like you. What does Pisces need right now? Meant to be. Ooh. Guidance. You are currently being guided to what's meant to be. Cash flow, bitch. A large lump sum. I feel like Spirit is trying to guide you towards resources, assistance. It doesn't have to be money, but I feel like it's like resources, supporters, people who are definitely going to help you, people who may donate to your cause, people who may, give you connections and networking opportunities with people who they know are going to help you progress forward because they believe in you and they believe in what you do, or they have similar interests. Dead. That kind of came out in reverse. I'm going to put it back. Life purpose, access denied. I feel like you could be more reinvigorated when it comes to what you're meant to be doing, especially if you felt recently that you were blocked in those areas. What does Pisces need? New line of study, researching occult things. I almost said regurgitating. There's definitely an energy here of people who are kind of gravitating towards you because they're very attached to the outcome that you're going to receive. They're very invested in the results that you're going to get or the results that you've been getting. And I also want you guys to tell me in the comments if these readings resonate right now or like when they resonate, because I feel like sometimes it helps me to know how far out I'm like projecting or seeing into the future. Because for right now, it's like the running time frame for me is like 3 weeks to a month. So I think a lot of the times the reason why people misunderstand these readings is because they haven't actually happened yet. And it could be pretty far depending on what's going on. That's why I always tell you guys, especially with me, right? It would benefit you to go back and watch the readings that are like month, 2 month, 3 months old. They have value because if I'm the type of reader who's able to see that far into the future and project out towards like future, because it's hard to, sometimes for me to see what's going on right now. I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It feels like someone is really attached to the results that you are receiving or that you will receive. And they may be regurgitating your knowledge, but like I'm getting like this energy of like not giving you credit for it or trying to make you feel bad about it, but then repeating it. Wow, cash flow. I just heard a ticking sound. It sounded like my fire stick, but it's off. Cash flow, new line of study, bound. Interesting. What does Pisces need? What does Pisces need right now? You need money. Lying. I feel like you guys need money, or you need cash flow, or you need more freedom to move when it comes to your finances. More wiggle room. Somebody may be lying to you about learning new things or evolving in some way, shape, or form. Like there could be people who are lying to you and saying, oh yeah, I'm into spirituality too. I went through my dark night of the soul too. I went through my spiritual awakening too. Oh, I like tarot cards too. I like crystals too. It's like somebody could be like lying about how they're learning about spirituality or what they know about spirituality. The reason why I say that is because this researching occult things, I feel like there are people around you, or there's a lot of people out there in your like bubble, not in your bubble per se, but in your, is it ecosystem? I don't know how to say this. But like people who you see online, content creators that you watch, commentary that you see, people in your community, people who you work with, go to school with, people who are in your neighborhoods where you live. There's a lot of people who are kind of like fibbing. They're lying. They're being deceptive when it comes to actually being like invested in some of these topics that you have learned about or know a lot about. And they may even make some type of money from it. But I keep getting this feeling where it's like they don't want you to benefit from it because you actually have the knowledge and they're just regurgitating things that they've heard. Growth. Yeah, and fork in the road. Yeah, somebody's definitely out here lying about their progress, their growth, what they've been able to accomplish, how they have evolved or changed. This could be a toxic family member for some. Oh, hold on. My laptop almost fell on the floor, bitch. Don't fall. My laptop almost fell on the floor. Okay. I was trying to catch it. Catch it. What? This is crazy. I feel like you're going to have to make a decision about moving in a different direction from these people or something like that. I don't know. It definitely feels like you need to see the deception behind someone's intentions. And the fact that although you may mean well, it doesn't mean that everyone else does. And it's like accepting that, but not letting it like upset you. I feel like that's what some of you guys need, is the ability to accept that not everyone is like you. Not everyone truly means well. Not everyone has good intentions. Not everyone is innocent in different situations, especially within like the religious, spiritual community or the truther community, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there's somebody who's very codependent on you, but they're very childish and jealous and envious of what's meant to be in your life. What you're being guided towards. So they may try to like learn about it, right? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be spirituality, but it kind of feels like your belief system is being targeted by people who want to have the same results as you, but haven't done the work that you do. And because they're upset at the results that you receive while not wanting to do the work, they're trying to make it hard for you. And I feel like that's proving the point that they're not actually like doing the work, but they're lying, saying that they've grown, because all they're doing is just regurgitating the things that they hear you say. Okay. What does Pisces need? Wow. What's blocking? What's the solution? So you need maybe to speak up. The thing that's blocking you from speaking up is that you don't see a point. Because every other time that you've spoken up, you gotten rejected. Every other time that you said something or spoken your truth, you gotten rejected. But the solution is to speak anyway. Or to communicate anyway. Or to say how you feel anyway. 7 of Wands in the Tower. Wow. And that's what I be saying. Like, I never want to come off as ungrateful, because there are so many of you guys who are very supportive. And I do my best, like, even if you hear me in the reading say, this is for those of you who blah, blah, blah. This is for those of you who blah, blah, blah. That's my way of working to focus the reading on you guys, because y'all are the ones who I see as most important. On the same token, though, it is extremely aggressive and draining. The spiritual attacks, the psychic attacks, the energetic attacks, or sometimes the verbal and mental attacks that people send towards people in my position when it comes to any type of content creation, but specifically spiritual content creation, because people are they throw it off, bitch. Okay. A lot of folks in this community are throw it off. A lot of folks in every community are throw it off. But when you start talking about spirituality and religion, it gets obtuse. Okay. So I think a lot of you guys can feel, it's like you're trying to protect yourself, because you can feel this aggression towards you whenever you speak about something. It's like anybody who has an issue about anything that you say, it's like they just try to totally destroy everything because they're upset at something that you say, or they take personally something that you say. Despite how knowledgeable or truthful that it may be. King of Swords is like, what the fuck you're talking about. You're not sitting here as the Page of Swords saying anything ridiculous. Everything that you're speaking on, everything you're writing about, everything that you're vocalizing comes from a place of knowledge and experience through, living it. It's not just something you pulling out your ass randomly because you felt like it on a Tuesday. It's because these are things that you know. These are things that you've lived. These are things that you've literally experienced. You didn't just read the manual and go out there and say you know what you're talking about. You literally read the manual, went outside, and started putting it together in a blizzard, in the Arctic, while everything was crumbling around you. Ooh, child, that's definitely a tower. I think people are just shocked at what it is that you say, because it's like there's this with the King of Swords, there's, especially when the King of Swords is upright, there's always this like shock factor with what the King of Swords says. Not because the King of Swords is trying to be objectively shocking. It's because the King of Swords just knows. And it's like when you speak on things because you know, and that's like literally a part of the evolution of growth. What you say will cut. It will cut deep for a lot of people, because a lot of people have to be forced out of this tower when you chose to jump. When the tower is happening, and I'm going to talk, for example, situations like this Diddy situation. And I'm just talking about it not because it's in the reading, but this is a great example. You might be the type of person to say something like, I don't know why people are shocked about what Diddy is doing, because you've all known for years and your asses ain't did shit about it, even though you knew he was a deviant. But now everybody wants to get all crazy and mad because of what Diddy is doing and be all shocked and appalled because of what Diddy is doing. But you know he was doing it, and you probably know a few people in your family who doing it too. And y'all ain't said nothing about it because you like to sweep things under the rug, because it's easier for you to hide shit than to deal with the devil that's in your face. So you rather turn your head and hide your eyes and not call the devil out by name, because it's easier to get around it. Maybe you won't be targeted then. But if any of y'all had any good God-given sense, then it wouldn't matter what man's law says. It would matter what God's law says, and you would put that motherfucker under the jail. But y'all too scared to speak up. And there's actually a very small percentage of men out here who actually got some balls, because all y'all are worried about is impressing the next nigga. And instead of the representation of what to look up to, being somebody of authenticity and, strong morals and high standards when it comes to behavior and stepping up as a gentleman, you got a bunch of fucking degenerates being the ones who y'all want to, yeah, he funny. He over there slapping the shit out of his bitch. And that's funny. Knowing that it's wrong. And then you wonder why you wonder why your booty hole is opened up randomly. I'm not talking about nobody specific. I'm not coming for Q. I'm saying in general, men wonder why they end up in situations where their vulnerability is on display, and say how the fuck did we get here? Because of shit like this. But then when you say shit like that, right, Pisces, you hurt people's feelings because you force them out of this unstable tower that they've built to protect themselves from reality. So you get attacked. Everybody clutching pearls. Pisces just told us the truth. Goddamn. They shouldn't fucking do that. How dare they tell us the truth about ourselves and make us look at who we are? How dare they? The audacity. That's what you get. So it's like you want to be able to stand your ground and speak the truth, despite, the shock and all that it may cause. But I feel like you're just tired of people rejecting it. You're just tired of being rejected. You're tired of no one listening. You're tired of people, being upset with you, but then literally repeating and regurgitating everything you say and then getting praise for it. I think that's where a lot of you guys are at. But let's see. I feel like the solution is just to say it anyway. and not be worried about what's happened when you spoke up in the past. Because this is about communication with the swords, verbal communication, written communication, psychic communication, speaking, writing, and with the cups, it's about emotions, feelings. It's like every time you speak, you feel disappointed about what comes at you. People come, whatever. What's the King of Swords for what Pisces needs? Ooh, excuse me. You could also need some type of clarity too. Or you want some type of clarity, but the clarity that you're finding is not what you want to see. Let's see. King of Wands came out for the King of Swords, the Devil, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that you want to speak about, but I also feel like these are things that are unspoken. These are things that are hidden. These are things that are very taboo. These are things that I feel like a lot of people may try to throw you in the crazy house for. What's the King of Swords? Five of Swords. I feel like some of you want somebody to speak up for you or somebody to speak up on your behalf as well. Like you need someone to be that like supportive masculine energy that defends and protects you in a situation. You need some type of order brought into a very disorganized situation. Like order to chaos. That's what it feels like. Because somebody here is being very vindictive. That's that evil eye energy with the Five of Swords, childish, codependency, Nine of Swords, Ace of Wands. I'm just thinking, and all them beeping is going off. Hold on. I feel like you kind of need some audacity yourself, to be honest with you. I feel like you need the confidence to say what you need to say and to speak your mind, despite whether or not people are going to have some type of reaction to it or not. But I feel like you also feel possibly that you need support in order to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of you feel like, yeah, I know people are going to come at me crazy, or I know people are going to be upset about what I say, or I know people are going to attack me because of my opinions. And I don't think you have a problem necessarily with that. I just feel like you are grappling with the fact that even though you know all of that's going to happen, it would just make it a lot less difficult if you had some type of like support system. You know, like for example, if Cassie was to speak up about everything that happened with Diddy, right? And she didn't have her husband there with her, despite what's going on with him and his personal life and his history and his past. If she didn't have that support from him, more than likely she probably wouldn't have spoken up. Because she really didn't say anything until he came into the picture for real. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like that's part of it as well. Like while you do have this need to, you know, bring some type of order to the chaos in situations that would require you to speak up, you also need some type of order brought to the chaos when it comes to the repercussions and consequences that accompany you speaking up. And I feel like that's what you don't have. What's blocking this Four of Cups? Why is the Four of Cups was blocking what Pisces needs? Okay. You may also need some type of guidance. Like, this could be advice. It kind of feels like assistance, though. We saw the guidance card. So Spirit, I feel like they're acknowledging that they know you need some type of guidance or support in a situation. Now, what's blocking is the Four of Cups. We have the Two of Wands and the Seven of Swords coming out for what's blocking. Why that Four of Cups is there. Why the Four of Cups is blocking. I feel like this is kind of crazy. It kind of feels like you don't have all the information to make a decision, or you don't have all of the information about the consequences and repercussions of your decisions, so you don't want to speak on anything. This could just be a situation where you don't have all the details yet, so you're waiting to speak on something. Nine of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I also feel like it's what I said earlier about how when you're independently doing something, you're doing something on your own. Nine of Pentacles. You have a lot of knowledge, information, experience that you're sharing, and then people steal it and decide to act like it's their idea. It's like you're trying to prevent that from happening because that's destroying everything that you've built. But if they can steal it without anything happening, then maybe Spirit is trying to guide you towards building a stronger foundation. Now, that is objective, so don't jump down my motherfucking throat, bitch. I'm just saying, Spirit may be trying to help you build something that's more stable so that it's not as easy for people to, plagiarize your work. Because that's kind of what it looks like. It's like you don't want to speak up because every time you speak up, somebody plagiarizes your fucking work. And they say, oh, look at this idea, this great idea that I have. But you've already said it a bunch of times. Or this has happened to you a bunch of times where people just talk out the side of their fucking neck and blow a lot of hot air. And they take everything that you say and do and act like they're the motherfucker who said it first. So that's why I feel like Spirit is saying what you need in order to get what you want is to be more strong-willed about what it is that you say or your opinions. Let's see. What's the Five of Swords? Yeah. King of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. I feel like this has to do with routine as well. Something about your everyday habits, your everyday routines. This could also be getting stuck in a routine as well. Or like a habit that has developed over time. This Five of Swords is talking about a habit that's developed over time. Ten of Cups is what you do every day. The King of Pentacles is somebody who's kind of stuck in their ways. They're very successful, but they're stuck in their ways. They don't innovate and they don't like change. Now, this could also be your community. This could be your neighbors, your coworkers, a boss, your landlord. You get what I'm saying? Like, some of you guys feel like you need a man to have your back. Like, some of you may feel like you're a woman out here on your own and people just kind of like step all over you to try to get what they want. I feel like you desire to have some type of masculine support system so that you don't have to fight so hard. It's like you want somebody who's going to fight for you when you don't have the strength to fight. That's what you need. I'm not saying you need anything. I'm just saying. But I also feel like there's a need for you to observe over time how you may have given up without even trying, tried and only gave 50%. And then, the times where you saw something through to the end and really pushed until you got what it is that you wanted, despite what other people around you may think. And look at the variations of the results that you received from those different time frames and attitudes when it comes to those situations. Like, some of you guys have to see, and I had a conversation with God about this. I was praying about this earlier and talking to God. And, throughout the conversation, I was like, God, because of the fact that, because this is exactly what this is, right? Because of the fact that a lot of times my 50% looks like 100% to a lot of people, I settle for 50%, or I settle for a lack of full effort. And I trick myself and convince myself and play myself into believing that my 25 to 75% of effort is good enough to get the results of 110% of effort that I expect. So if I expect 110% of effort, but I'm only putting in 25 to 75% because of the bolstering of people who see my 25 to 75% and don't know how they could do it, so therefore they feel like it's more like 100%. Because of that bolstered expectation, I think that my 25 to 75% is going to give me the results of 110%. And then I get upset that my expectation isn't met, because in reality, I can't base my success off of the way that other people view my success. I have to base my success off of the way that I view my success. And if subconsciously I know that I was only giving 25 to 75%, then psychologically, when it comes to manifestation, I'm only going to receive 25 to 75% of the results versus the expectation of getting 100%. So I had to stop tricking myself into thinking that 25 to 75% is enough, and start to actually give 110, 100, maybe sometimes even 95, because I'm giving myself grace percent, so that my effort can match my expectations and therefore set me up for success instead of setting myself up for failure. Boom. That's what this is. Some of you need to have that philosophy. Some of you need to realize that small innovation of change every single day is going to slowly but surely inch you forward and creep you forward towards having more of what it is that you want with a proper expectation. Yeah, temperance. Yeah, bitch. Didn't even look at the deck. Temperance and the Four of Wands. This is how you transmute the energy. This is how you blend the energy together to work seamlessly and flow with you towards the outcome that you never thought that you would achieve, or that you never saw coming. But what it is an accomplishment of your goals. You're balancing every day those philosophies so that you can, reprogram your mind through the experiences that you have, and allow those experiences to help you thrive. What's the King of Wands? Ace of Pentacles. There's also a piece here about seizing opportunities, going for what it is that you want, and understanding that it's going to make you uncomfortable. Yeah, Six of Wands, Hangman. Yeah. Hangman is the discomfort. Successfully seizing opportunities is going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to trigger you. But I feel like your perspective of how you look at it is going to help you succeed. And that's what's going to lead you to really being very wise and knowing a lot of things, knowing a lot of truths that other people have failed to kind of master. What's the Ace of Pentacles with the King of Wands? Ace of Wands. Yeah. This is about your passion. This is about your drive. This Five of Swords and this King of Wands is basically you need more drive, passion, will, and ambition to achieve the goals that you have for yourself through the way that you implement change every single day. Ooh, that was loud. Oh my God. I didn't know it was that loud. Oh my God. I said what I said. 3 of Pentacles and the Moon. I also feel like there's this piece about not knowing whether or not people are genuine. Like, there's this piece about like building something with this 3 of Pentacles, the things that you work on, the things that you do. It's like Spirit wants you to accept help and support and recognition, but they also want you to be cognizant and aware of people's motives. That's kind of been pointed out, because not everyone's motives are genuine, and they could have some type of hidden agenda when it comes to like recognizing you, helping you achieve your goals. It's kind of like a situation where you have a friend that's watching you crash out, and they're egging you on instead of like being there to cause order or create order, right? It's never good to have friends that you just turn up with all the time and all they do is turn up and y'all constantly go around creating problems. It's not good to have a bunch of yes men, yes women around you. It's not good to have people who just say whatever you want to hear and don't ever tell you about yourself. Right? So I appreciate when y'all tell me about myself, because it allows me to reflect. I know it's not just you guys. Sometimes my kids are like that too, because I am definitely strong-willed and I'm definitely going to believe that I'm right. And I will logically prove to you that I am right for me. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't see validity in the things that you say or the point of view that you have as well. However, just because I see that validity or just because I recognize that point of view doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with you. And I don't think that's bad. Like, in our society, I feel like that's what we're lacking. I feel like we're lacking those bits of boundaries or understanding where we can speak about topics, not have to agree, but still respect each other at the end of the discussion and say, you know what? I don't see anything wrong with you having your point of view because you're not hurting. Look, you're trying to do the right thing. You truly mean well. Your intentions behind what you're doing are actually very pure and don't wish to cause harm to anyone. And even though I don't agree with those opinions, I can still respect you for having strong will. But see, we're surrounded by a bunch of castrated cowards who have slowly had their nutsacks sliced off by the hands of capitalism and social media. So we can't have those types of conversations. We can't have those types of, banters with each other, because everybody always wants the other person to agree with them. And even though it may seem like I want you guys to agree with me, that's not what if you're really paying attention, that's not what the fuck I be doing. I be trying to challenge your mind so that you think, because nobody thinks for themselves. But I think about a lot of stuff. Always thinking. Been thinking since day one. And every time I get on TikTok and say, I've been thinking. And when I get to thinking, I get to talking. And when my other TikTok page got banned, that was the video that they stitched. And it was a black lady who stitched it too. And I was honestly just sharing a thought that I had. But because I didn't agree with the group or the mob, and because people don't have the will or courage to have a difference of opinion, I was banned. So it's definitely a situation where I feel like that's what you would benefit from, are those types of environments where people are able to, freely communicate and speak openly about their opinions, regardless of whether or not those opinions offend people, regardless of whether or not those opinions are politically correct. Because that's what it is. It's like a lot of y'all are not politically correct. And that's why you resonate with me, bitch. That's why your ass is here. Okay? Hate to break it to you, ho. That's why you here. So it's like, I think what Spirit is saying is that, you know, even though you may want to have that perspective of people meaning well and truly loving you, truly understanding you, not being guilty, that, you know, they didn't do anything wrong. I think that perspective is skewing you a little bit. I feel like you need to be a little more cutthroat. I feel like you need to be a little more straight up. Keep it a bean. Keep it a buck. Keep it one thou wow. Whatever you want to call it. That's what they're saying with this Five of Swords, King of Wands, King of Swords. It's like, as you move forward, understand the swords that are in your boat, 6 swords. But also understand that there are people who are going to be floating in the water about to drown, trying to stab their sword in your boat so that you can't get to the other motherfucking side. And you can't have this idea, this laxed, you can't have this lax, passive, you know, non-confrontational approach to all of these different situations, because not everybody is meaning well. Not everybody really cares about you. Not everybody is innocent. And not everybody tries to do the right thing. And all you got to do is keep stepping or keep rowing and don't back down until you get to where you are stable and secure on the other side of that water and your boat has come ashore. I think that's what Spirit is saying here, is as far as what you need when it comes to the passion that you have, the drive and ambition, the courage and the strength and the willpower that you put towards the opportunities that you want to take advantage of in life, or that you're passionate about in life. And it's going to be something that you have to work on every single day, and something that you have to implement, because you're just kind of in this, you're in this mental place where, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever. You're in this place where, and look, justice just flipped out. So you're in this place where you want to be fair and balanced. You're in this place where you want to understand all sides and be objective. You're in this place where you want to believe that there are good people in the world, and you try to approach the world in that way. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. I feel like that's why justice flipped out. It's like you will receive justice for that. But I also feel like a part of you receiving that justice is for you to go ahead and slap that motherfucking hammer down, bitch. Sometimes you got to do it. And that's why I said to some of y'all, like when I did my passionate expression of emotion the other day, I explained to some of you guys that, you know, it's not that I'm trying to be negative. It's just the truth of the matter. Like sometimes you have to speak on the truth of the matter. But I also have to understand that the truth of the matter that I see may not be a true representation for all of you when it comes to what you see. And that I can't necessarily categorize all of you together. So it's like a learning experience on both sides. But a lot of times, Pisces, people want you to be the one who's doing all the learning, and they don't want to take any of the lessons. And I think that's that's a part of what I feel like is blocking you guys. Okay, with this 7 of Swords, 2 of Wands, it's like you're tired of always being the one to have to like take all the L's, the lessons, the losses, whatever, the lies. What's the 7 of Swords for what's blocking Pisces? 4 of Wands. Yeah, it's like, I just feel like you see people trying to steal your accomplishments, and you kind of get pennies on the dollar. No pun intended, but you kind of get pennies on the dollar when it comes to like being acknowledged for that. 7 of Cups with the 4 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. That's 10 cups. And yeah, I think it's because there's so many people who are trying to cloud people's vision about who got there first, who said it first, all these other types of things. Some of you are confused about how to actually accomplish a goal. Like when it comes to strategy, when it comes to making decisions, you may be unsure of, because that could be why the King of Swords is here too. When it comes to your strategy, you may be a little bit confused about how to go about doing something because there's just so many options. There's so many things that you can choose from. There could be a lot of different things going on, but not everything is like real. Not everything that you see as far as like an option that you can choose is something concrete. You know, like if you were choosing topics to do tarot readings about, yeah, we could talk about twin flames, or we could talk about black magic, or we could talk about haters, or we could talk about love, or we could talk about money, career. We could talk about higher spiritual messages from source. There's so many things, but not all of those things are going to actually get you the result that you want. And I feel like you're confused about how to get the result that you want, or what strategy you should go about using to get the result that it is that you want, per se. I feel like that could also be because you feel like every day everything is changing. So many things just kind of like happen. Like the news cycle is so short. What's the Four of Wands? Two of Swords. Yeah, you don't. It's like you feel like you're missing information. Or you may be afraid of what it is that you don't see, or it could be a number of things. But what I feel is like you really are struggling to figure out how to accomplish a goal. And I feel like that's what's keeping you stagnant. It's like you don't know how to do something, so you're trying to strategize, brainstorm, figure it out. That's what Spirit is saying. You're unsure of what to do next. So take steps in any direction. Just do something, right? Because I feel like something will be easier for you to accomplish than you think, or something is simpler than you think. I feel like there's also a key here about how to accomplish a goal being the issue, or being what's blocking you. Is that you're trying to figure out how to get what it is that you want, and it's causing distractions and confusion rather than just doing what it is that you want. Yeah, it's like, don't think about how to do what you want. Just do what you want. Four of Swords. And it's so easy to say this, but again, like I said about content creation, it's so easy to say things when you're an observer or when you're looking from the outside in. But when it actually comes to like doing that in the moment, it's more difficult. And I think that's what goes back for you guys to like trusting your intuition. Four of Swords, Five of Cups. It's like, you know the truth though. If you're praying, if you're asking, if you're begging even for Spirit to show you what you don't see, it's like, you know what you don't see. If there's anything you're disappointed about or hurt about or sad about or feeling rejected by, you know the truth as to why, even if you don't want to necessarily admit it, and facing it is going to help you move forward. Like, in order to move forward from something, you have to acknowledge that it happened. Or in order to understand why, you know, what's upsetting you, you have to pay attention to why you're upset or something. Judgment. Yeah, I feel like you're going to have a wake-up call. Or this is Spirit, like whatever you're dealing with right now is Spirit's way of trying to wake you up to get you to see something that you don't see. But it's like it's right under your nose. It's right in front of your face, but you don't see it. I also feel like some of you don't see that there's a relationship that's a distraction. And this could be a friendship. Some of you don't see that there's someone here who's not telling you about like their disappointment or something like that. Or maybe you're not telling them about your disappointment. Yeah, there's definitely somebody holding on to something. I feel like there's a relationship, though, that's a distraction. And this whatever this relationship is, whether it's platonic, romantic, or professional, it's like kind of stealing your independence away. Like somebody's definitely codependent. It's taking your mind off of your focus when it comes to making decisions about your goals. What's this 2 of Wands? Y'all be sure to like and subscribe, bitch, to continue to catch the vibe. I forgot to say it. 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands. 9. That's a 9 altogether. Oh, and you know what I just thought about? And I know this is going to probably resonate with you guys. It just popped back in my head. Because I was going to talk to you guys about this before. That's part of the reason why I was telling you everything that was happening, like, leading up to this point. Because that's always what happens. Like, I always tend to, like, snap and rant when I'm at a point where I've had just a lot to deal with, right? And I think that comes from decision fatigue. And I was thinking about decision fatigue earlier. And I don't think that we actually address how much that actually can take us out of our character or, you know, unground us at times. And I think with the 7 of Wands and the 2 of Wands, I just thought about it. It's like decision fatigue. We saw the 7 of Cups. We have the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Pentacles, it's like kind of waiting, contemplating energy, you know, like what to do, what to prioritize, you know, and it kind of feels like you have to make so many decisions or you have to put out so many fires that you feel this like pressure. It feels, you feel like there's always something that you forget about or that catches you off guard. Yeah. And there's the Temperance, back and forth, the energy of patience, trying to balance, keep things balanced. Even the King of Cups being on top of the water, he's got to be over there trying to keep his chair and his throne balanced on top of that water. He's got to stay balanced so he don't drown. But I also feel like there's an energy here of like somebody putting a lot of decisions on you to cause you to have that mental fog or to cause you to have that decision fatigue. And it's somebody who you have some type of relationship with that they're not like, it's like they're not telling you a lot of things that would benefit you when it comes to like making progress. They're keeping things from you to kind of keep you in a position of confusion. Like they may come to you and ask you for help with something, but they don't tell you the whole truth. Like if your friend comes and asks you advice for relationship advice, right? They want you to help them make a decision, but they don't tell you the ways that they create problems in the relationship. But then they always come to you trying to fix something or help fix something. But they don't want to admit to how they like kind of fucked it up in the first place. Or even if this is like your ex, baby mama, baby daddy, whoever, maybe you guys are co-parenting. They come to you to solve problems and like, oh, how are we going to figure this out? How are we going to figure this out? But they don't ever give you the information or privy you to the information that caused there to be a problem in the first place. Right? Like, oh, the kids need school clothes. How are we going to figure this out? Well, motherfucker, you're not telling me about how you sitting on your ass and you not working like that. You create it. The problem is here or the situation is happening and you're wanting me to figure it out. But you don't want to take accountability for the ways that you caused the situation to be worse than what it had to be. It's kind of like that type of energy. And I think that's what's blocking you. And Spirit, I feel like, is removing these type of situations or people from your life, because that's what's causing the decision fatigue. What's the Seven of Wands? Oh, and whoever of you was in the comments and you said, somebody commented and inspired me to do this reading. You guys said, I need money or something like that. I was like, well, let's see what Pisces need. You get what I'm saying? So thank you for that comment. The Hangman with the Seven of Wands. It's like you're always caught up in it's like you're always caught up in like useless conversations or repetitive situations that happen over and over again that kind of like keep you in this cyclic battle for control over your time, your energy, your life. It's like there's a person here and you kind of don't see how what they're doing when it comes to their codependency on you is distracting you from making good decisions, which is causing you to have some type of disappointment in your life. It's kind of like how my ex-husband always calls me when the kid, he asks for the kids to come over, but then always calls me when they're over there trying to figure out solutions to fucking problems. Figure it the fuck out, nigga. I don't care. I care, but you're trying to make it so drastic that you don't know how to figure it out because you want to call me so you can stress me out and disturb me from when I'm working, disturb me from when I'm sleeping, disturb me from any the fuck thing going on that's going to help me have a clear mind. Because your ass don't want to fucking do what you're supposed to do, or you want to try to cause problems in my life and be subtle about it when it's not subtle. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's kind of like what's blocking you. It's like somebody who's attached to your growth or attached to the decisions that you make, or they're attached to preventing you from having a clear head when you make those decisions. Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Somebody could also be trying to expose you here. I don't know. It feels like you value your privacy. I also feel like what's blocking you is that you're trying to figure out what's important, what should you prioritize, what's, what should be your main focus and what's a distraction. And Spirit is telling you you're going to have to look at it from a different perspective. And I feel like that perspective is from a place of kind of like more intuition and emotion, so that you can balance everything and kind of find enough time in the day to do everything so that you're not getting like thrown off by the unexpected. But I also feel like you need people to be removed from your life who try to make mountains out of molehills. You know what I mean? And some of you need that King of Swords energy to tell folks, like, figure it out. I don't fucking have time today. Yeah, Eight of Cups. Okay, so this could be about you, like, this could also be about you, like, being too emotionally involved in the situation. I feel like they want you to use your intuition, but they don't want you to be too emotionally attached to either an outcome or too emotionally overwhelmed when it comes to like situations happening. They want you to get control over your emotions so that you don't let all of that stuff affect you. Because I feel like you get to a point where you just don't want to do anything. You fed up, you're tired. You just kind of like sit there with this Four of Cups. Yeah. And you don't do anything because you're feeling uncomfortable. Nine of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Yeah. And over again, this cycle happens. And it causes you to feel like you're missing out. and kind of like beat yourself up or be ashamed that you weren't able to see it until it's too late. You know, like if you want to work on your business or you want to work on a hobby or a skill, yeah, it's like you're trying to prioritize that, but other things try to get your attention, or other things try to appear, maybe even people try to appear as more important. Ten of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. It's hard for you. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys have like some type of overactive or overstimulated mental situation going on, because it feels like you get stressed out or feel burdened when it comes to making decisions about what to prioritize and put your time and energy into and what not to. Because you're just trying to get so many things done. You know? I know this reading is long, you guys, but I feel like it's important. And if you really want to upgrade and do the things that are going to help you get through this, I feel like it's beneficial. The signs that are out here are only Pisces with the Hangman. So, not too much on trying to blame other people in the situation. I feel like you would benefit from learning about this type of like occurrence. This if it's a disorder, I don't know. You know those little commercials that come on YouTube with them little Sesame Street characters? They look like little Sesame Street people. And there's like a song that they're playing, but it's talking about overstimulation and, you know, intense boredom and all these other different things that come along with the condition. It might benefit you to try to do some research on what causes that and how you can kind of combat it. But what's the advice? What's this? Ooh, my finger, y'all. What's the Knight of Swords for the advice? Ooh, 8 of Cups. Yeah. It's definitely about priorities. What needs your attention and what doesn't. 8 of Cups. Death card. Emperor. I feel like there's a major transformation taking place, and that you should have hope because there's something coming that you don't see when it comes to like you having to literally be on your own, or you having to literally like distance yourself or separate yourself from a lot of people, a lot of situations. There's something that you don't see coming. It's like Spirit wants you to see that you're going through a major transformation, and you're going to see the results of that transformation once it's complete. But it's like your advice is to keep that in mind with everything that you do, because there's a major change that is happening for you, Pisces, when it comes to you detaching from shit that does not serve you. And it's helping you to step into this Emperor energy, like this higher version of yourself, this higher vibrating version of you, the more ascended version of yourself, the more leveled, balanced, strategic, wise, experienced version of yourself. What's the Knight of Swords? Ooh, both of them came out sideways, bitch. So you can either walk away from the temptation, walk away from the toxicity, separate yourself from the attachment to the outcome, whatever it means for you. Or you can continue to return over and over again to bondage and slavery. We saw that Bound card. So this could even be a dynamic that you've grown up witnessing with people. Like you may have had a lot of people in your family who had like autism, dementia, Alzheimer's, bipolar, schizophrenia, things like that, ADHD, ADD. And I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist, so see the disclaimer below. But that's what I feel. I feel like either you can walk away from that cycle and decide to push forward towards what's meant to be, or you can continue to stay in a situation that breeds codependency and toxicity. Four of Swords, Six of Cups. I feel like you've healed from a lot of trauma in your past, especially from your childhood. For sure. And there's a major transformation when it comes to you letting those feelings go. Letting those emotions go. Telling yourself that it's okay. You know, this is like you healing your protection mechanisms. Because of the Seven of Wands, I feel like there's this protection mechanism that you have when you feel threatened by a demon. And you probably dealt with a lot of demons in your childhood, a lot of spirits, a lot of energies that were trying to reanimate through people in your life. I feel like you've healed a lot of that, though. This could even be memories that you have, bad dreams that you have. Your dreams could be showing you what's going on from your childhood, but you could also just have like nightmares and stuff at night, and they stick with you even though it's not like real. It could be like a demon in your sleep trying to affect your thoughts and throw you off balance. But a lot of you have healed from a lot of those things in your past, and you have transformed many aspects of your life that have helped you to walk away from things that don't serve you anymore. You may even be having dreams of your childhood memories from a different vantage point or perspective to help you understand other people's like feelings and emotions. Like it could be a really trippy experience where some of you guys are having dreams about your childhood, but you're not in your body as a child. You're in like one of your parents' bodies or your sibling's body or your teacher's body. And that time where your teacher didn't call on you, you're experiencing that memory from your teacher's perspective, and you're actually getting to see what was going on in that person's perspective or mind so that you can heal from what you feel like they did to you as a child. So let me give you an example. I was watching that Sirens series on Netflix. And like sometimes we daydream, Pisces. We don't have to have dreams just in our sleep. We can do it in the shower. We can do it while we watch movies and TV. We could do it while we're outside, whatever. Sometimes I be even eating and have premonitions. But I was watching that Siren show, and a lot from my childhood came up about my mother and how she used to put me in my room when I was crying and upset. And I definitely felt this energy that has stuck with me about kind of some of the things that I went off on the other day, right? I felt a lot of this energy growing up. Like I was always closed up in my room and she never wanted to hang out with me. And, you know, I always felt like she didn't want to play with me. And I just felt alone because I was an only child. And then when I would go to school or after school, I would get bullied and people didn't want to play with me or they didn't let me play with them. And I just felt like I was always in a box, trapped. Right. And if I got upset or I was throwing a tantrum and crying about something, it's like she just let me cry. She didn't console me. She didn't make me feel better. She just let me tire myself and out and cry. But I always felt so alone, which amplified like whatever emotion that I was experiencing at the time. And that hurt me a lot because it's like now when I need a shoulder to cry on or when I want support, my mom's dead. Like, I don't have anybody here that really gives a fuck about me. All my dad wants to talk to me about is white women that he be trying to sleep with at his big old age. Or white women that he be trying to mac on. You know, my uncle is so distraught and upset about my cousins. And I just kind of like everything that I go through doesn't even fucking exist. Especially because I didn't do what he wanted me to do. Live my life the way he wanted me to live. I'm about to say live his life. He upset that I didn't live my life the way he wanted me to. And then on the other side of that, when it comes to my children, support with my children, I don't have that. So it's like, But then I was watching the movie, right? Because I'm not the movie, but it's a limited series. And I suggest you guys watch it because that kind of like highlights the point that I'm making. In the Sirens show on Netflix, if any of you guys have watched it, let me know in the comments what you think about what I'm about to say. The girl who was in House of the Dragon, Rhaenyra, the younger version of Rhaenyra in season 1, the actress who played her, she was the girl who was the assistant in this like limited series to this rich couple. She was really the assistant to the wife. And she had an older sister and a dad who had dementia, right? And so she was kind of like running away from her reality by going to be this assistant to this very wealthy woman. And she ended up losing her own identity. And then all of this shit started unraveling. And then things that were suspected to be happening weren't actually happening, but ended up happening. It was so crazy because the rich woman ended up losing her position to this girl who was her assistant, but the husband ended up trying to kiss the assistant, but the wife kept thinking that the husband was cheating on her, but he wasn't actually cheating on her. But because their relationship started from them cheating, she basically lost him how she got him. So she was always paranoid, and she basically manifested the cheating into reality because she was, being so aggressive and keeping the man from seeing his kids, or I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was just a lot of shit going on. And it brought up, for some reason, I think because the dad of the assistant girl had dementia, it just brought up a lot of things in my family that kind of like made me triggered. Not only because like my grandmother had early onset dementia, but because my mom had lupus. That's what she passed away from. And I felt that sister's pain because of the responsibility of like being adultified before you're really ready. And it just brought up so much, but it boiled down to like me feeling trapped or ignored. When I used to cry, my mom would close the door on me. And it's like, I was asking, why did she do that? Because that hurt me so much. And that's, me kind of seeing it from her perspective, right? Because as I was sitting there watching that show, it's like my perspective was actually flipped. And I started thinking about my kids sometimes. And when I just don't have the mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, physical capacity to deal with them, because there is so much pressure on me. And it's like I was sitting in the living room of my childhood home apartment, hearing myself cry in the bedroom, but sitting on the sofa as if I was my mom. You get what I'm saying? It was some weird ass shit, trippy shit, bro. Wasn't even smoking a blunt. But that's what it was coming to in my mind. And it dawned on me, and like, even though these things, it's good to just follow through with whatever you got to learn or see in that moment. So I started to think about how she had lupus and she was so stressed by bills. Like I started to think about like being in her, like now I'm in her shoes, right? Not because I'm reliving it, but just because I'm an adult. I have my own kids. I know the pressures of reality and government and bills and everything else now that I didn't understand as a child. And I could feel her love for me in that moment as I was sitting on the sofa of our apartment in her shoes, it felt like in her body. It was crazy. But I saw her sending me loving energy and telling me like through the door that it's going to be okay. And I remembered feeling that as a kid. Like even though I'll be throwing a tantrum, I remember like always hearing this voice that was like, it's okay. Just try to relax, calm down, let yourself cry. Like, it's like she was kind of giving me that padded room type of space to just duke it out with whatever demon was trying to get to me, while also removing herself from the situation in order to keep peace so that she could show up for me when it was necessary. Kind of like a recharge, when you let a battery exert all of its energy, it was kind of like that. And I could see it from her perspective of her sending me that positive energy so I would feel better. And I remember as a child receiving that, because you never want to like see your child suffer, but you also can't always pacify your child. So I know that was a long drawn out explanation for what this advice is, but that's kind of what I feel like is happening. It's like your spirit team wants you to uncover the truth and, unearth what's been buried from the past that you've been feeling so attached to, but that you don't actually have to be attached to, so that you can see the results of this transformation clearly and move forward from things that don't serve you, so that you can have a more balanced perspective when it comes to this aggression that comes towards you, when it comes to speaking your mind about things that you feel like are valid, when it comes to moving forward and taking any step versus cowering and running from what you feel like you need to do. That's what I feel like Spirit is trying to say. And I know that was a lot, you guys. Yeah, it's about the subconscious. This is a confirmation that a lot of things from your subconscious are coming up to the surface. A lot of the fears from your subconscious are being unearthed so that you can deal with them. Yeah, what exactly is this Knight of Swords, though? Can I just get one card for this Knight of Swords? Five of Cups. Strength. And the Ten of Wands. I feel like Spirit just wants you to have the courage to push past the things that kind of make you feel overwhelmed. That's really, I really feel like that's what this is. Capricorn energy, Pisces energy. We saw Cancer. We see Leo here with the, Strength card. We saw Scorpio with the Tower and the Death card. So definitely could be Scorpio energy, Pisces energy, Capricorn, Leo, Cancer. But that's what I feel like this is. And I feel like this is the type of work that you should be proud of doing, that other people are acting like they're doing, but actually lying about doing. And that's why Spirit wants you to have the confidence to speak up, because you're going through these scenarios and situations and circumstances in order to help you grow, in order for you to make better decisions, in order for you to be more authentic with who it is that you are with yourself first, so that when you step out into the world, there's no question of your authenticity or who said it first. And I think that's what Spirit is trying to kind of say. Like, where the energy comes from is being skewed, because you have to allow yourself to go through these different ups and downs and changes. But once you do and you fully embrace it, no one will ever mistake your energy for anyone else's again, because you won't gravitate so much to people, places, and things that kind of obscure your energy. Anything else that Pisces needs to know when it comes to what they need? Oh my God, this Mean Woman card. Reviewing the past. You may be reviewing the past at this time. A situation may be coming back to the surface for you to deal with at this time. Yeah. And it could cause a burden. It could stress you out. You could try to push it out of your mind. But I don't think that you should do that. Now, the Mean Woman could be the source of this memory or the source of this past experience that's coming back up. A situation could involve a woman who is mean-spirited or very stuck in her ways. This could also be someone who is seeking some type of revenge. For some of you, I heard this is your grandmother or your mother. How your grandmother or your mother treated you, or situations that happen, memories that you have of this woman. This could also be for some of you guys a teacher, from your childhood, or bitch, or a caregiver that took care of you in some type of daycare or program or something. And it could be from when you were way young. We have musician and then toxic. The situation could involve a musician. This could also be a situation where, you know, based on certain circumstances, you kind of managed to show up or materialize as this mean woman. Could be a toxic situation that pushed you into kind of being this mean version of yourself. Toxic. A situation could be toxic. Also be careful of what you eat and drink at this time. Okay. One more card for Pisces. Speechless. Someone is at a loss for words. Feeling like a movie. You may find yourself in situations that feel like you're in some dream, like I said, or that you're in a movie. Things may turn out better than anticipated. See? That's what I'm saying though, y'all. Politics, politician. The situation could involve a politician or politics. I feel like you're going to be speechless about something toxic that you may have spoken on in the past. You may be speechless when it comes to the results of a situation or what you find out about a situation. This could be about government. This could be about local politics, you know, statewide, countrywide politics. This could be about celebrities, musicians. This could be things, pop culture. Put it like that. It feels like pop culture. There could have been a mean woman in the past who came at you because of what it is that you said. When it comes to different situations, this could be shit going on at church. This could be situation, you know, church politics. This could be, damn, did my laptop die? No. It could be it could be, office politics. Anything that I feel like you tried to convince people of something and you were either portrayed as this mean woman and people tried to cut you off from being able to speak, or this mean woman had an issue with what you said, but whatever you said from the past is going to come true. And it was like something you said about a toxic situation, and people either tried to make you out to be the bad guy, or they're going to literally be shut down now because whatever you said is coming to fruition. What's this reviewing the past, mean woman, and speechless? Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So this could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Doesn't have to be. This could be your mother. This could be your grandmother. Like I said, anything that I said. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Wands. I feel like somebody's going to offer you an apology, or they're going to offer you something that shows that you were correct, or that you were paying attention to a detail that everyone else was too distracted to see. It's like something about how it's like you were either right about this woman or you were right about whatever you were talking about, and they shouldn't have made you out to look like this mean person. Even if you're not a woman, I don't care. I feel like somebody's going to offer you some type of like apology or recompense for not being distracted by something enough so to where you were able to see the truth about a situation that everyone else was kind of distracted from or overlooking. So that's why I feel like Spirit is trying to get you out of your feelings when it comes down to speaking your mind, even if you have to face some type of opposition. Let me see. We're just going to get one. I know this was a long ass reading, y'all, but I felt like I had to say what I need to say. As always, bitch. And we'll continue. Y'all be sure to like the video, you guys. If y'all want to book a personal reading, the link is in the description box below. Everything is in the Linktree link, but I feel like the booking link is also just on its own. So if you guys want to check out any channel, subscribe to any of my channels, watch any of my other content, you can always click in the Linktree link. And I always post on the post section, the community tab of YouTube, and you can always see my channels there and click on it and hit subscribe. Okay? It's really not that complicated, but people ask me how to do it, and I'm just like, I can't help you troubleshoot YouTube. Okay, I can only put it there, and if you use it and see it, that's the best I can do. Okay. Now, what is the advice for Pisces? What is the advice? I used to do that too. I used to help people troubleshoot the website when I worked for Home Depot. They'd be like, "Where's the card? Where's the card?" And I would literally have to be like, "Okay, well, what device are you on? Let's do that first. Let's establish your device." I'm on the tab. What's the tab? They'd be talking about they're on the computer tab that says homedepot.com, but they would say it like they were on a tablet. Child. Couldn't do it. What's the advice for Pisces? Trust yourself. Say what it is that you need to say. Because you've detached from a lot of toxicity, what you're speaking on seems naive, but it actually comes from a place of strong wisdom. Because you've gotten over the disappointment. You've gotten over the fear. You've gotten over the lack of fulfillment. You know, like you may be able to speak on different social situations because you don't even give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like you don't even care about that stupid shit. You don't care about the industry. You don't care. You're not afraid of these big mogul people. See, because that's how I can speak on all these people in the industry. And like, that's why I say, y'all, just go subscribe to Casey Nicole Speaks. Okay. Because it's not even just about me. It's literally about everybody having that ability to speak freely. Because if I had the support of the thousands of people over here, then videos like the video that I made about Luigi Mangione and social experiments, or the video that I made about Jay-Z and Beyonce and open secrets in the industry, and the way that it always is used to spiritually attack us, maybe those videos will get more than 98 views. You get what I'm saying? And people want to make it about me saying something about it, but it's not really about me saying something about it. It's about the fact that we have to be able to identify things that are going to progress us forward, even if it's uncomfortable to hear. And I think Spirit is telling you that because you're detached from a lot of these things, and you're detached from a lot of like the glitz and the glamour and the way that people view these things, because that's not a true representation of how you view these things, you're able to speak on it with more clarity and intensity from a perspective of a lack of distraction, from a perspective of you seeing what's, you know, written on the wall, from a perspective of you reading between the lines and not allowing yourself to get caught up in the small details, but being able to zoom out, hangman, and see the bigger picture. So that's why Spirit is saying to trust yourself when it comes to the things that you feel like you need to do, whatever that may be. And I said what the fuck I said. Okay. At the bottom, go with the flow, trust yourself, and swim away. Right. That's why Spirit is telling you too, like you need people around you who are on that same level with you. Right. You need people around you who just like, if you listen, it's not about, and it's not necessarily yes men or yes women. It's about people who have experienced your knowledge and wisdom, or experienced your abilities real time, who don't compete with you about it, who don't feel threatened by it, who don't try to take it from you because they're envious of it, but people who have witnessed those abilities in real time and seen how profound it is and understand the importance of it, and they're willing to say, yep, Pisces said that. Pisces did that. See, this is what Pisces does. You get what I'm saying? Those are the people who you need around you. And when you get in a position where those people are not around you, and you gotta come on your channel and tell people why it's important for them to support you, it's time to find some new people. So at the end, that's why I said, I'm using my own situations as an example. I'm letting you guys know what's up. I'm being transparent with y'all because that's the only fucking way I know how to be. That's the only type of bitch I know how to be. And I'm letting y'all know what the real is on the situation. And sometimes you may not like the delivery as to how it comes out, but sometimes that delivery is exactly what's needed for you to be able to wake up and see what the fuck is going on in your own life. So I hope that this message helped you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys who support the channel wholeheartedly and have been supporting for years, months, weeks, days, hours. Thank you so much. Minutes, seconds. I appreciate you guys. And if you want to book a reading, I'd be happy to do a reading for you guys. If not, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Support the channel through liking and subscribing to continue to catch the vibe. Thank you to all my members. And remember, Pisces, this is our Circle Booze. Bye.